Hello, everybody. Alongside Don Helbig, I'm Ryan Sir, and welcome to the Pick Six, the podcast by the Attractions Group, where we bring you the latest and greatest stories from the world of attractions and the amusement industry.
Thank you, Ryan. Before we dive into this week's Pick Six, let me remind our listeners where they can tune in to the Attractions Group podcast. You can catch us on your favorite podcast platforms and be sure to subscribe, like, and share with your fellow attraction enthusiasts.
Yeah, awesome. So, uh, without further ado, this is a segment we like to call the Pick Six. All right, let's jump right into it. So, let's start off with Mauer Rides. So, Mauer Rides, ahead of the big IAPA convention next week, has announced a new attraction, the Spike Water Fight Coaster. The track of this unique attraction rises out of the pool, with riders twisting upwards on its spiked vehicles. What's even more exciting is that the platforms with the water guns are mounted alongside the track, allowing spectators to shoot water at the brave riders. But riders won't be defenseless, as their vehicles are equipped with water guns of their own for some fun, wet retaliation. It's always fun. This week is always kind of fun, and everybody ever thinks about it. Where you a lot of the announcements are coming in ahead of IAPA, but this is another one. And then obviously RMC's teasing some stuff, Intamin, and so on. So, what kind of park do you think would have something like this?
I'm not sure, Ryan, but it certainly sounds like a refreshing twist on coasters. Next week, if you're attending the IAPA Expo and you get a chance to take a look at this, you know, send us a comment on our X and let us know what your thoughts are on it. Now, Ryan, let's head to the iconic Coney Island in New York, where history is being made for the first time in 120 years. Luna Park will be open during the winter season with Frost Fest kicking off on November 18th, and it'll run through January 7th. Besides the 20 thrilling rides that'll be open, and this is going to include the Coney Island Cyclone roller coaster. Parkgoers can also enjoy an all-new ice rink, holiday shopping, and festive food options at the holiday market. Sounds like a great time. Being in New York, the Brooklyn area, that time of the year, I think it's going to be cold, but it's certainly going to be festive.
If they can have outdoor stuff in Minnesota during that time of year, they can figure it out in Brooklyn, New York, right?
That's right.
Awesome. Yeah, let's move on. So we got some good news coming, and it's funny because this story changed. Knott's Berry Farm, the original news story that I had put in is that fans were reporting that Accelerator was testing. Accelerator closed for painting in what March 2022, and it hadn't really reopened since. And that gave some glimmer of hope that it might reopen soon. But since I wrote that, you updated it to say that it has opened to the public. That's fantastic. I really want to ride that ride. I think it looks awesome. You ever been on Accelerator?
I have not, but you're right. It does look awesome. Um, the enthusiast community, they really, really thought that it was never going to open again. But when the test rides began, there started to be some optimism, and I think it opened a lot quicker than anyone thought. And everyone's excited to see it back in operation again.
Yeah, I agree. So very exciting news. So hats off to Knott's Berry Farm for pulling that off.
Yeah. Now the only thing that I've seen about this is, and it's the enthusiasts as they often will do, as excited as they are to see it back open, the one thing they are calling out in the different social media groups and that is that the station they're now assigning rows.
I knew this had to have a tragic ending. All right.
All right.
What's
From the
next?
West Coast. Yeah, from the West Coast to the North, Winterfest is making a return to Canada's Wonderland. It'll open on November 17th for its fourth season of magical live shows, themed areas, festive food, and family entertainment. This year, the event has been extended. We're hearing that word a lot, extended through January 6th, offering interactive attractions such as cookie decorating with Mrs. Claus, musical sing alongs, ice skating on Snowflake Lake, and over 20 Winterfest rides.
And once again, if you can have winter in Toronto, you can have winter in Brooklyn. I think it'll be just fine. Yeah, very exciting. I mean, obviously they've got a fantastic Winterfest event, so that is super exciting.
Yeah, my enthusiast friends that live in the Ontario area, they just rave about how good Winterfest at Canada's Wonderland is.
All right, so moving on to a poopy story, and I mean that literally. Um, this is rather unusual and some would argue unpleasant, but there's a bizarre series of stories circulating in the traditional news media, including the New York Post, about Disney parks. Visitors have been spotted relieving themselves while waiting in long lines for attractions such as Rise of the Resistance at Walt Disney World. This is a strange and distasteful situation. That's a great way to put it, turning the happiest place on earth into an unsavory scene. It's certainly not the kind of magic Disney aims to create. I would argue that the digestive system of the human body is magical, but probably not in the way that Disney likes to be.
No, it's indeed a peculiar story. Ryan, I'm relieved you're done talking about it.
Yeah, I'm glad that we were able to keep that one short and pinch it off. But yeah, it's sometimes, but Rise of the Resistance. If you got a 3 hour wait, and your option is, I mean, obviously, like some of us would probably just leave the line. But if you really want to ride that and you've been waiting so long and you've got to go, what do you do? You can't.
You ask a cast member, and they will assist you, and they will get you back in your place in line. So I think just ask a cast member. It's that simple.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. If anything, it's a testament to how long the lines can get. But come on, people, let's show some decency. Don't poop in the lines at your local amusement park unless they tell you you can. In that case, do what you want. They're not going to tell you you can. All right.
All right. Finally, we have a heartwarming news coming out of Dollywood and Pigeon Forge. The park is not only a place for amusement, but also for dreams coming true. Dollywood is hosting its second annual Sensory Sensitive Day. That'll be on November 18th. It's dedicated to ensuring that visitors with sensory sensitivities can fully enjoy the park's attractions and entertainment, emphasizing their commitment to inclusivity and accessible fun. I just wrote about that on my blog, Theme Parks by Don. Just a wonderful thing that Dollywood is doing there.
And it's funny because we used to hear about this a little bit. Now we hear about it more, about having sensory friendly shows and sensory friendly days and stuff like that. And you have no idea how much that means to people that are affected by it, whether it's maybe an adult that can make the decision where I can't go to the shows because I know it's not gonna sit well with me, and being able to go in this instance, or families that say, I'd love to take my kids there, but that's not going to go well. And then having the opportunity to do that. So hats off to Dollywood. I would expect this out of them. Fantastic company, fantastic park. What a great initiative.
Yeah, and just check out the blog article and just see all the things that Dollywood is doing on November 18th during this day.
That's awesome. Cool. Well, that wraps up another episode of Pick Six, where we bring you the most exciting news stories from the past week, the top 6 news stories in the past week. Thanks for joining us. And make sure that you follow us on all of our social media at attractions_GRP for your Twitter/X, and on all your favorite podcast apps and YouTube. But we'll see you next week, everybody.
All right, good night.